So in today's video, we are going to go back to our island survival game, and we're going to carry on working on our the ability to chop down our trees, because we haven't finished that yet. And I think in our previous episode in the series, we worked on allowing our player to actually hit them, so being able to interact with our trees. So today, we need to go and destroy them. Now, we're not going to get to the part where we instantiate like broken pieces of trees, so like logs and let leaves fall down and stuff. In today's video, we are going to make sure that when we try and cut down a tree or break down a tree, or whatever you're doing, each tree is going to have to be different, because if they all require you to hit the tree like 3 times and then it gets destroyed, that's going to be boring. We need it to be random. So we're going to add a health to each tree, and then using that health we can determine how many hits it needs to be broken, if that makes sense. So I've never done this before. I don't even know if this is going to work, because I haven't looked it up. It's just came to me as a thought. So we're going to try and implement it in today's episode, and then we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work, we'll have to scrap it and then deal with it in another episode once I've looked it up on the internet. But let's get into it. So in the previous episode, we worked on, do we have a tree prefab? I can't even remember. So we do have a tree prefab, which is one of these. So let's just go and override these. So what do we do? Mesh renderer. Okay, so we're not working on rocks. Okay, so which one do we want to work on? Palm tree. Okay, so they're all the same, but let's go and work with one of these actually. Okay, so they all have colliders on, which is good. Where's our player? Okay, our player's there. So let me just go and override this quick so that our prefab's all the same. I don't really know why you have to... Are those all different? Palm tree 5. Okay. Let's see, palm tree. Let's open this one up. No, that one's far. Let's try one of these ones. How do you open prefab? Okay, so let's work on this one. So actually we don't need to work on this one, because all of our trees have the tree script on it. Well, that should be fine. So let's go open up our tree script, and then in the script we need to write a few lines that will give our tree some kind of health value. And then when we go and break it down, or when we go and hit it, we can go and subtract from this health value. And then depending on how big the health is, it will obviously take longer if the health is larger to break down, and it will take a lot shorter to break it down if the life is less. So let's go and find our scripts wherever that is. Where's our scripts? Imported assets? No, here it is. Okay, so let's open up our tree script. Now we can go, this is going to be a float. So let's go and say, what is it going to be? Let's make it public for now. Actually, no, let's make it private. Actually, it will have to be public, because I think we need to access it from the another script. So let's go and see. I think it's in our cut tree script. This is okay. Yeah, so this is where we hit. So we're gonna need to access it from here. So let's go and do that. Assets, drag that into here quick, so it's in the same folder. Okay, so in our tree script, it needs to have a public float health, and that is going to be, we'll set that at the start. So let's bring the start method back in, and whenever the game starts, it's going to assign a random health between 2 certain values to each tree, so that each tree has a different health. So we can go and say health is equal to random.range, and then we need to provide the two random values. So let's go to our global class, and we can say public in public static int low what am I doing? Public static int low. This is going to be low tree health. And we'll set that to about 25 because it obviously can't be 0 because our tree can't have a health of 0, otherwise it'll be dead. So the next one is going to be a public static. It's going to be the same thing, int, but this is going to be a high tree. Actually, let's say max tree health. That makes more sense. And that's going to be equal to 100. Okay, so our tree is going to have a maximum health of 100, and it's going to have a minimum health of 25. Actually, we can make that smaller. Let's make it 5. So actually, I think 100 is going to be way too big. So let's make our minimum tree health 1 or 2, and then make our maximum tree health about 15. We'll leave it like that. Otherwise, we'll be here breaking trees down the entire game. So in our tree script, we can now go and assign these values. So in our range, we need to have a global dot minimum tree health as well as the global dot max tree health. Okay, so that's going to assign a random value of health to our tree. So let's go start the game and see if that actually works. Let's see. Okay, so we'll just ignore that, but let's go and click on one of our trees. So here in our tree script, okay, so you can see this tree that I'm clicking on here has a health of 3. Then another one has a health of 11, and then 13, 4. You can see that they're all random. Some of them will have the same because it's just picking a random number between those two values. But it's nice that we have a variety of different numbers. So that will allow us to take longer or shorter amount of time to break down the tree. So in our cut tree here we can go and say, where is it? So here I believe is where we are printing out a message to say that we've hit the tree. So instead of saying that, we can go and deduct a value from our health of our trees. So that is also going to be a random, actually should it be random, or I think it should be the same every time. Yeah, we'll start off with the same every time, and then later on, depending on like what weapon you're using, we can go and change the value. So we can go and say private int float rather hit power. I don't know what to call it, but we'll start with that. Hit power is going to be equal to 2, like that. And then when we go and hit our tree, we can go and say, actually in our tree class, we can first create a singleton so that we can access this. So here we can go and say public static tree instance. And that's going to have a public get as well as a private set. So, and then we need to bring our awake. So in here we can go and say if instance is equal to null, then assign this. What is it? Instance is equal to this. Else we can go and destroy. I think it's instance. Okay, so that should allow us to access our, what is it? Our, where is it? Health value. So I'm going to cut this out and put this just here. Okay, so now in our cut tree, in our if statement, whenever we hit our tree, we can go and say tree dot instance dot, what is it, health is going to be minus can we go minus equals hit power? Hit power. So that should allow us to subtract whatever our hit power is, with in this case it's 2, from our tree health. And then let's go and test that out and see if it works. So now we're going to have to find a tree that we can hit that has health on it. So let's see. If we walk to this tree right here, so let's walk to this one. Now let's go and find that tree. Which one is it? Let's click on it. So this is the tree. Now in our health script, it should take us 2 hits to hit it. So let's go back to our game and let's hit it and see if it works. Which one was it? We need to see if it works. So click on that one. Okay, so it's the one just on top of there. So in our game, okay, so you can here we are. You can see that in the bottom right hand there, we have our tree script with our health attached to it. So if we hit it, nothing happens. You hit nothing. How about, does it work for one of these ones? Okay, so it works for that one, I think. So let's go through that one and see if it works for that one. Which one is it though? We're gonna have to try and figure out which one it is. So this one is Palm Tree 3. Okay, so let's go back to it and see. It's got a health of 11, and if we try and interact with it, okay, so that's not working. Now let's go to our tree class here and just say, when we enter that zone, I'm just going to print out our health just to see if it's changing. So we can go back and forth into it and see after we've hit it if it's changed or not, because we're not really getting any indication of if it's working. So first of all, did we save the script? Yeah, we saved the cut tree script. So let's save that. Not that we've already saved it, but we can go and test it out again. So now we don't really need to figure out which tree it is, because once we walk into our zone, you can see our health is 3. And if we walk into it again, you can see it's also 3. So I'm going to hit it once. We haven't hit anything according to the message, but if we go back into it, okay, so we still have a health of 3 on that one. If we go into this one, health of 10, let's hit it. We did hit that one. And let's go back in. Okay, so that's fine, but clearly something is not working here. So what's this? Start first person controller. I don't think that's going to affect it, no. So let's see. Maybe it's to do with this line. So let's go say is equal to copy that and paste that there and say minus hit power. So maybe that will work, maybe it won't. We'll see. Let's try that again. Like I said, I haven't really done this. This was just an idea that I came up with of how we could destroy some of the trees. So if it doesn't work, I'm not really expecting anything else. Let's see, is that working? No, it's not working. Okay, maybe it's got something to do with the way we're accessing it through tree.instance. Let's try a different way and say, in our tree script, hold on, let me just look at something here quickly. Let's change this to game object, and maybe that makes a difference. I doubt it, but let's give it a try. So where's our trees? Well, clearly that made a difference. Okay, so clearly we can't do that because that doesn't work. Okay, so we're going to have to do this a different way. Let's go get rid of that. And then instead of doing that, in our cut tree, we can just go and... Now, you see, this is not going to work because we've got so many different trees. Actually, maybe it will. We can use the... Let's do this. Let's say var tree is going to be equal to... actually, before we do that, let's go undo everything so we get back the line that we needed, which is that one. Okay, so we're going to need our hit power. So let's do this. Copy and paste that. And then we can undo what we just did and get back our hit power. Okay, and now we can bring back our original line. And here we can go and say, because this is printing out what we hit, because we are getting the game object of what we hit, we can use that and say var tree is going to be equal to hit.collider.game object. So that gives us access to our tree. And now we can use that to get the script off of our tree and access the health in it. So, well, that's the idea. Let's give it a try. So actually, instead of doing that, because we got our tree, let's go and say tree. Actually, we'll just say tree, and then here we can go and say game object dot get component tree, like that. So that should give us access to the script. So here we can go and say tree dot health is going to be, let's try the minus equals hit power and see if that works. All right, so that should now give us, let's see, we should still get the message printing out to see if the power is changing. So I'm going to walk into here, and then we should get 7, hit that a couple of times, and walk out, and then go back in, maybe. Okay, so we do, okay, wow, so we get 113, so clearly something is working, but that is way, like, I only hit it a few times. Oh, okay, I know why. It's because when you click on the mouse, like because you hold it down kind of for a few seconds, well, not a few seconds, but less than a second, it's still it's registering that you're like clicking it kind of. So we need to change that so that it only registers one click. So let's go and do something else quickly. Because that's working, we'll leave that there for now. And then on our tree, we can go and bring in our update method and say, if the health is less than or equal to 0, then destroy game object. So we can go and destroy the tree. And then later on, once we've before we destroy it, or actually at the same time that we destroy it, we need to eventually go and spawn in kind of like something that looks like a tree falling down, if that makes sense, because we don't want the tree to just disappear. So this one here should work. So if we click on that one, you can see our tree is now gone. We can click on this one as well. That one's gone. Now, obviously, the amount that it's deducting from the health is incorrect, because we do want it to look like we have to like use some effort to try and break the tree down and not just have it disappear like it is now. So we'll go and fix that. I think that's simply just changing the, what is it, get mouse button into something else, maybe get mouse button down, and see if that makes a difference. But we'll do that in the next episode. So sorry, this one was a bit short, but it was a quick idea that I had that I wanted to try and see if it would work, and clearly it works to some extent. So in the next episode, we'll try and take this further and maybe try even spawn in some logs or something to make it look like the tree is actually falling down. But yeah, that's it for today. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So goodbye and enjoy the rest of your day.